Hello YouTube. Today I'd like to do a little piece on the durability of Apple hardware. Now I've always said that Apple hardware is generally a better make than Android. Android is kind of you can spend a little bit of money and get a lot, but with Apple is you spend a little bit of money, you don't get much, but what you get is quality, and there's a lot to be said about quality. Now I've been following iPhones since the 3GS was out, and I loved iPhone. I loved iPod Touches. I was a huge fan of them, and I never managed to break one. Just recently, I managed to break my iPad Mini 2, and I'm kind of floored with the way I managed to break it. You can see it. That's where the main impact happened, right there. I was right there when it happened, and guess what destroyed it? I dropped a Raspberry Pi on it. I dropped a frickin' Raspberry Pi on that sucker, and it smashed it. I think it only managed to break it because I think it hit on the corner onto a place where ultimately there's nothing behind it. There's like I can stick my fingernail in there and peel it off. I can, and yeah, so it must have hit a weak point, and because of that, a nice little crack on there. Now it still works, of course. I can still do my thing, but geez, it's annoying. Man, that's annoying. I'm so ticked off at myself. A Raspberry Pi, like really. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed it. Let's see how light this thing is. Now before, man, I've seen so many torch tests of the iPhone 4. No problems at all. Anyways, let's see how much this weighs. That's 77 grams. 77 grams. That's it. That's all it took to break that. But the thing is, usually I have big cases on my phones ultimately. And this time I didn't have a case. I had one of these. Unfortunately, when I put this on the floor, so yes, I put it on the floor, it is kind of my own fault. I didn't have it closed, so that's very important. This is why I can't have nice things apparently. But anyways, I thought, okay, that was my fault, totally. I totally understand that. Yep, that was all me. Anyways, so, just after that, my dad brought me this iPod Touch. This is an iPod Touch 4th generation. I've had 3 of these in the past. Never had a problem with them. He found this. He actually found this in a snowbank. My dad found this in a snowbank. This thing is messed up. And I was like, oh, I could get a new case for it, but, or I could get a new screen for it, but is it really worth it? Maybe I should just take it apart to say I took it apart, and I can see what's on the inside. Get a little more used to taking these things apart. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll plug it in, just to see what happens. This thing was found in a snowbank, a dried out snowbank. Lots of water all over it, lots of mud. The bottom ports were absolutely full of mud. I blew them out, and there was a bend there. Pretty sure someone backed over this. I blew it out, and I plugged it in. And guess what? This thing spent a significant time in the winter. There was, oh, I should have taken a picture of it. It was just completely covered in mud. There was, it was green mud too. There was algae growing off this. This thing was in the drink for a while. It was frozen for a while. And the frickin' thing still works. I can't believe that. That is awesome. That is something you can write home about. It's just like, wow. And by the time I started messing with this, I think it was a week after my father gave it to me, you could still see condensation in the lens. I'm not seeing that right now. But yeah, it worked. Oh my God. That's quality right there. That's quality. You can't get much better than that. But these days, I'm having problems like this. Yeah, by the way, this didn't even have a case on it. No case, no problem, you know. Anyways, I'm pretty sure this got backed over by a car because of the way it was broken at the bottom. But shit, it's still usable. And then, someone I know gave me this phone. This is the 5C, of course. Because the screen wasn't working anymore. Well, it was working at the time, but there were lines going down. It was just, all you seen was lines. So, I did what I could. Ultimately, it turns out they dropped it. They dropped it a bunch of times, and because they dropped it, the best I can figure is this ribbon right here, which is really sensitive. It's broken right now, so I don't mind manhandling it. Let's see if I can pull this other section out. This section isn't, you don't get these in two sections. It comes like this with this part in it, and they're like a module. They're sold together. I can't get it out nicely. You know, that's on camera. I can't get it out nicely. But anyways, those things are usually sold as a unit if you want to get replacement parts. But the only reason this thing broke, I believe, was because this cable. This cable went bad. And how I can tell that is because I did have some video, but it was in lines. The screen is not broken. There are no cracks. There are no cracks. This was dropped. The user said she didn't, but I'm pretty sure she did. And I'm pretty sure this came out, and I'm pretty sure that that connector is what broke. I would rather have something that's solid at the back that will crack, but I can still use. That kind of quality. That kind of quality. But it just kind of shows you the way things go. I swear to God, after Steve Jobs left Apple, or after he passed away, the quality just went in the shitter. Right after he passed away, the 5S came out, and it wasn't very good. No, wait, not the 5S, sorry, the 5. The 5 came out, and there are all kinds of problems with it. One of my bosses who got it, the first day he got it, he had it, and he could do this, and he could hear the battery jingling around in there, rattling around. So, you know, as you get older, things get cheaper and they fall apart more. I'm pretty sure these things have gotten cheaper. 5C anyways, I'm pretty sure has. But yeah, take care of your stuff. You gotta get a good case, even if it's an iPad. And don't put your iPads on the floor. Jeez, don't put your iPads on the floor. Anyways, have a good one, YouTube. Food for thought. Catch you later.